Okay, we'll continue our reading from Vaisnava Ke. What kind of devotee are you? From verse number 11 today. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhate kirim yat kripatamam vande Shri Gurum Deen Tarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hariyom Tatsat. Kanak Kamini Pratishtha Bhagini Chhadiya Che Jare Sei Ta Vaishnava Sei Anasakta Sei Shuddha Bhakta Samsara Tatha Paya Parabhava. The translation to this verse is: this desire for enjoying cheap fame and material distinction acts like a ferocious tigress who devours one's Krishna consciousness. Similarly dangerous are the desires for enjoyment of wealth and women. Someone who has transcended both of these materialistic desires through devotional service is indeed a real Vaishnava. One with such Krishna consciousness characteristics is truly unattached to the material life. He is actually a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. This material bondage to the repetition of birth and death is easily defeated by a pure devotee of the Lord like him. Purport: three tigresses are mentioned here: the desire to accumulate wealth and material acquisition. Second is the desire to have beautiful, obedient wife or to associate with beautiful women. Third is the desire to achieve material importance and position. The tigress is famous as one of the most ruthless animals. Although the lion is popularly considered king of the cats, one can say that the real king, tiger is the real king, because it is far more ruthless than the lion. Be that as it may, the tiger is unquestionably dangerous, and tigresses especially have no mercy. They are always hungry, and upon spotting a victim, they immediately strike. Thus, three powerful desires are completed. Right. They are always hungry, and upon spotting a victim, they immediately strike. Thus, these three powerful desires are compared to the three perilous tigresses confronting an aspiring transcendentalist. Wealth, women, and fame, these desires can devour devotional service. Just as tigress rips out the heart of her prey, these desires can rip out the heart of the devotional service. Therefore, caution must be used. Advancement in Krishna consciousness requires renouncing these three desires. Whoever abandons the desire for materialistic achievement is an actual Vaishnava. The position of a Vaishnava is extremely exalted, for it implies a firm connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Krishna, a Vaishnava, is a descriptive term indicating one who is already on the transcendental platform. A Vaishnava's qualification is that he has given up mundane desires for wealth, sex enjoyment, and material importance. To serve Krishna, one must be qualified as Vaishnava. Therefore, without giving up these desires, no one can really serve Krishna. Sometimes someone who appears to aspire for Krishna consciousness joins ISKCON and displays tremendous enthusiasm to perform service. He eagerly does anything asked, and he obsequiously takes dust from the feet of the Vaishnavas. After a short time, however, he steals something and runs away. In this connection, Srila Prabhupada quotes an old Bengali poem, Ati Bhakti Chorer Lokhon, or excessive devotion excessive devotion warns of a thief. People in general have an illusory attachment for wealth, sex life, etc., and the material position. The existence of these desires is only to be expected. When a spiritual aspirant joins the Hare Krishna movement, he can also be expected that he will retain some gross or subtle attachments for these things. A sincere candidate, understanding the falsity of these desires, seeks to renounce them. He battles against the illusion of overcoming his urges and engaging himself in the devotional service. Whenever his mind promotes these ideas, he rejects them. He rejects them and fixes his thoughts on devotional service. It is undoubtedly a struggle, particularly in the beginning, but by pushing on, the aspiring devotee invokes the mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna. Thus, it is understood that a new devotee appearing fully spontaneous, who seemingly devoid of any trace of material desire, heralds his own purity, is most likely a bluffer with some sort of perverse material motive. The instruction that no one can qualify for devotional service without giving up these illusory desires should not discourage or frighten a devotee, for these ambitions fall away automatically as devotional service matures. Attachments may linger, but a devotee must learn to see their uselessness. He should be cautious and deal with objects of attachments according to the instructions of the spiritual master and the scriptures. For example, freedom from the desire for wealth is best attained by employing one's accumulated wealth in the service of Krishna. To free oneself from the attachment to beautiful women, one should practice either celibacy or regulated household life in full Krishna consciousness. By the practice of brahmacharya, the complete celibacy, or grihastha ashram, qualified celibacy, householder life with sex only for procreation, one becomes immune to the inordinate desire for sex life. This immunity is also cultivated by loudly chanting and engaging in the Sankirtan movement while preaching the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the glories of his holy name, and remaining in the association of strong devotees. The desire to gain position is deep-rooted and subtle. In this material world, everyone is hankering after importance and prestige. His divine grace Srila Prabhupada has pointed out how even rickshaw drivers have a sense of importance. One rickshaw driver may consider himself more important than another because he pulls his rickshaw faster. Another driver thinks that because he gets the same money with less work, he is more important. A third driver thinks that he is best because he earns more by cheating his passengers. And a fourth imagines himself a wonderful singer, expert in striking up enchanting melodies while pulling his rickshaw. In some way or another, everyone feels very important. As that feeling expands, one hankers after the position of minister, king, a guru, or whatever. These feelings of self-grandeur expand in different ways according to the individual. Thus, in this material world, everyone is jostling for a position of importance according to personal desires. Conversely, a Vaishnava's position is that of the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. This humble mood of service may many times removed is the qualification for acceptance by Krishna. The pure devotee is unattached, free from all the above mentioned desires. Such a devotional yogi is not only gives up desires, but he offers all of his desires to Krishna. Abandoning worldly desires, he develops positive desire to satisfy the transcendental senses of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. The devotee understands that Krishna is the owner of all wealth, the male enjoyer in all conjugal exchanges, the perfect target in all relationships of love, and the pivot of all fame and glory. In this consciousness, the faithful devotee directs all his energy towards Krishna and taking the focus away from both his material body and his individual spiritual self. He completely fixes his vision on the Lord. Krishna naturally reciprocates and glorifies his devotee abundantly, showering him with wonderful gifts in gratitude for his love. The devotee is, however, unattached to these gifts, and this reciprocation increasingly inspires him in his intense effort to offer everything to Krishna. When a devotee has such an intense desire to offer all material opulence to Krishna, It becomes spiritualized, frees the transcendentalist from attachment, and he becomes, nay, he is a pure devotee. The quest for spiritual perfection is like a war in which the devotee battles against the illusory energy. When a devotee becomes detached and pure, material energy accepts defeat. Standing with folded hands, she offers her obeisances. Congratulations, now you have achieved the success of life. So even the Maya Devi is going to congratulate such a devotee. And you have taken shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna, and now I am defeated because you are beyond my purview, no longer within the range of my attack. So you have won. The battle ends just like when an intercontinental ballistic missile warhead penetrates the enemy's radar and defensive missiles and then detonates on target, brutally defeating the enemy. Everything has its limit in the material world. Even material nature herself is limited. One who is situated in pure devotional service is beyond the range of illusion and outside the control of material nature. After all, Maya is also a devotee of Krishna. Her duty is to keep the criminals in jail. She never releases anyone unless they become pure devotees of Krishna. When someone becomes pure, she gladly accepts defeat because ultimately her whole purpose is to help people surrender to Krishna. This is her success. She expertly keeps the living entities in illusion until he understands that he is the eternal servant of Krishna, thus preventing criminally minded living entities from creating havoc in the completely harmonious spiritual society. Hare Tat Sat, Hare Krishna. We will continue with verse number 12 next time. Thank you for joining.